Oh, what a week it was. Wednesday morning, I got a call that basically the dog's barking was driving the neighbors crazy and had to move the farm. So Cory and his mom stepped up and offered me a place at Cory's mom's farm and Vineyard's place. And so it's been a whirlwind. The Sunday message isn't that well formed this week. Is basically the story of how I didn't lose my stuff. I managed to hold it together and see it as an opportunity, and why does it work out better than we can possibly imagine. So that's the song I chose as well. It's the best I could do under the circumstances, but I think I tell the story, and I think you get a glimpse of the new place and some of the challenges. And again, just huge thanks to Cory and Anne Vineyard for offering me a place. And the bottom line is, the spiritual message here today is that when life gives us challenges, it's up to us to find the opportunities and to sometimes dig deep down in ourselves and find resources and do what needs to be done. And again, thanks so much to Cory for so much work on Thursday, just busting his buns to help me get 2 different flocks of sheep onto a trailer, and the dogs and all the equipment and all the infrastructure moved. And thanks to Anne for opening her heart and her land to us. So without further ado, here's the Sunday message and the song, and peace, love, groovyness, prayers of gratitude going out all over the place. And yeah, here we go. Boom. Amen. Sort of. So I got a call this morning about 7:30 from some friends of mine who own a farm across from where I have my sheep and dogs. And they were asking me again to do something to stop the barking because they couldn't sleep at all last night. And this is not something I thought was going to be a problem, because I'm way out in the country and I keep doing my best to move as far away from people's houses as possible. But evidently, because of the shape of the valley, no matter what directions my dogs bark, it bounces and kind of goes up to where these other people live. The one challenge I have is that it's like people want you to make it stop right now. And they don't take into consideration that in order to make it stop, I have to move an entire farm, right? And I just invested a bunch of money into the water system over there. So now this is the second time this has happened over there. So, okay, it's time to find another solution. So I talked to Cory's mother, Anne, and she is willing to give me a shot. She has a part of her property which is kind of far away from everything. The forage there isn't spectacular, but it's an area where I could actually demonstrate improving the palatability and fertileness of really poor forage, because it's just sand. It's just literally sand, and evergreens are starting to move in. And so it's pretty poor soil if evergreens, are moving in. So that was this morning, and Anne is open to it, and I really appreciate that. And so I'm going to move my sheep and dogs tomorrow, and I communicated that to the people at the farm across the road. So the challenge is, the thing that keeps the coyotes away is the barking. And I don't want to shoot the coyotes, because that's kind of been proven to be a bad way to go about it. It just brings in more coyotes into the area who don't know the rules, right? The electric netting so far seems to be protecting the rams who do not have dogs. So maybe you don't need livestock guardian dogs in populated areas. Maybe you just need this electric netting. But I didn't want to risk my lambs. That is the future of my business, right? And coyotes prefer lambs, not rams, not bigger, tougher, stronger sheep who can butt and kick. So anyway, it's the next step in the adventure. So I don't know what the Sunday message will be this week, but it may be just dealing with what life gives you and finding a way to turn it to your advantage. Like, why does this work out better than I could possibly imagine? I didn't realize how difficult it is to find properties where dogs barking doesn't bother people, and their job is to bark. It's a non-lethal coyote deterrent, right? And no one seems to be willing to wear earplugs, right? But we live in an area where people have their windows open at night. It's summer, maybe not such a problem in the winter, right? But it's just another challenge. If I had my own land, right, I could say, but it's not my own land. I don't have a lease. I am farming at the forbearance of the neighbors. And if all the neighbors are being bothered, then I'm not a very popular guy. And that's not a win. It's not a win for me to make other people miserable, right? And it hurts a little bit because my intention is never to be annoying to people, right? Everything we do that challenges us brings up stuff that needs to be healed. The ability to just turn on a dime and be flexible and go, okay, I'll find another place. Because I have something to offer landowners. I have increased fertility for their property. I have brush mowing abilities with the sheep. I have stewardship and management ideas. And Cory is right on the same page with me as far as creating silvopasture. And the fact that he and I have been collaborating over the other place, and he and I will continue to collaborate at his mom's place. I think that's good. And, it's the very fact that I met Cory was because I couldn't have bulls at the first property. And so I had to find a place where I could have a bull, but then I ended up never getting the bull. But Cory's bull did the job, so everything leads to everything else. And so I don't know if this will be the Sunday message, but the bottom line is stuff happens that we don't expect, and it happens when we least expect it. And it's up to us to reflect on it, to make some good decisions, and just respond appropriately, hopefully with love and with compassion, not only for ourselves and the other people involved, but for the animals as well. Moving the animals is kind of a big deal for me because I'm moving their home, right? And there's plenty of forage where I'm going to take them to. There's shade. We have a lot of forest edges, which we can clean up and kind of push the forest back a little bit and improve the pasture. And it's a place where I think I can demonstrate that my management principles work. So let's do it. So that's where I'm going now. I'm going to go and move fences over to the new place and get ready to move the girls and the dogs tomorrow. Peace, love, Groovyness. That's it for now. Boom. All right, so this is what we're looking at. Pretty much a burned out, sandy pasture that isn't really growing much of anything right now. But all around the edges are trees and grass and weeds. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna head over to the far corner of this pasture, which it's basically a sand dune under this. So, you know, we might look into some really drought tolerant kinds of plants that sheep like. Or we just keep rolling out hay all winter around in a circle until we get something to grow. Here's where we're gonna be. Tucked in around here. See, it's a lot greener. And so this is where we're gonna start. Right about here. We're gonna have to bring in water, but I have a place that I think is far enough away from everybody so the dogs won't keep them awake and I won't have to be constantly looking for a new place. All right, well, this portion of the program has been brought to you, as always, by Old Man Sunglasses. Ever since I've been wearing Old Man Sunglasses, I have been wise, intelligent, mature, level-headed. And today, I need some level-headedness because I got a call this morning at 7:30 from the people across the street from where the sheep and the dogs are at this moment. And they were like, you got to move these dogs because we can't sleep and the windows are open and it's summertime and we live for summertime and it's ruining it for us and you have to move them today. And I did push back and say, listen, I can't move them today, but I will work on it. You have my word. And so my friend Cory's mom, Anne, was kind enough to give us a spot. And we're looking at really poor soil. Really poor soil. But the whole purpose of what I'm doing is to regenerate soil, to regenerate the land, to be healers of the land, to find a spot that nobody else wants or that won't grow anything, and see if we can actually, by using animals, by rolling out hay, and moving the animals, fertilizing them, fertilizing the land with the animals, and rolling out hay in the winter. And it looks like I might have found a place where that's the perfect laboratory, particularly as I scale up. It's not huge, but it's not tiny either. It's at least, I don't know, it's probably comparable to the first property I had. So maybe it's 50 to 100 acres, something like that. And man, I have schmutz on my camera lens from my sweaty face talking on the phone. So we have an edge here, and it looks like there is no old fence, so I have shade. There's not a lot of underbrush to eat, but boy, the sheep will make sure there isn't any. So we are on the next adventure. All right, so I've made my first, what I think is 60 paces by 60 paces by 60 paces by 60 paces, because that's about how long the fences are, but it's not till I lay them out that I get a sense of whether I need to shuck and jive a little bit. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start laying out the fences, and I can't get over how bad the soil is here. I mean, this is absolute and total sand. I mean, look at that. There's no carbon on the surface whatsoever. So if you're asking for a project, this could be the project. And I don't know if it needs to be limed, I don't know, but I think rolling out hay, so if I can buy some of last year's hay for 15 bucks a bale and just put the sheep in here and then unroll the hay. Just unroll hay, just keep moving them and unrolling hay and cover this place with a blanket of hay spread out, of course, not so thick that it kills things, but just get some carbon on the ground, hold the moisture, keep the roots cool. That's what we're thinking about. So, wow, just what I was not expecting to do this week is start with a whole fresh place. But I am so grateful to have it. And why does it work out better than I can possibly imagine? I mean, these are beautiful woods. And they're pretty mature and they're pretty dark inside. I mean, just look inside these woods. Not much is growing in there, on the ground anyway. But, you know, there's two ways to create silvopasture. One is to plant trees. The other is to selectively thin trees. And we could start at the edges, thin trees, and have some firewood and maybe even some lumber to build stuff with. And that's it. I gotta work. Well, this is gonna be my last night here on this farm. This beautiful, beautiful valley, this lush place that has been so nutritious for my animals. So I have to move them. I found a place to move them where they're barking we're pretty sure it won't bother anybody. It's kind of the center of a big chunk of land. You are so much more trouble than I thought you would be. Yes, you big goofnick. They're supposed to bark. That's their job. The problem is, not everybody wants to hear barking dogs all night. There's Luna. Or they're gonna play rough. I gotta get out of the way then. All right, so one last look at this beautiful place. I was gonna head that way. But unfortunately, the people that are bothered by the dogs live just behind those trees. So the closer I go that way, the worse it would get. And I can't really move that way because the cows are there. And I can't really move that way because those people complained about the dogs. You know, it's like I need like 1,000 acres someplace where there are no other people. Like maybe Montana, I don't know. But the deer flies are out. That one's dead. Anyway. All right, so this is the last night. We're gonna pick up these sheep in the morning, take them over to the new place, and we'll figure it out from there.
Here they come.
All right. Come on out, kids.
They're all in here.
Oh, the rams are in the front?
No, the lambs are in
We
here.
gotta go back to the rams.
Oh,
Look at the
ewes, Otter. My goodness. Look at the babies.
I thought you might like to see some babies around the place.
I love it.
Super cute.
And look, they got stuff to climb on.
They think they're goats.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let the dogs loose now.
Friendly.
All right.
Now they've got that whole panel. They just have to go under the electric fence.
Yeah, I think hopefully they'll figure it out. If they don't, we'll help them.
You might have to, there's one part of the fence looks like it's kind of leaning. Make it too low. Way up there. See the electric line?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get the lawnmower out of here.
All right.
They look nice.
They look good.
So mine well, I had them trained to come when I call.
Uh-huh. All right, so far so good. Spike and Luna are getting along with all of the other dogs. It helps that they're pretty socialized. And so far, come on, Spike. Come on, buddy. Hey, horse. I like horses. I like other people's horses. That's a beautiful horse. Yes. Spike is like, whatever. Spike is like, the horse is gonna, that's good. That's good. You be nice. You be nice. There you go. Yeah. You be good. I don't know about horses. All right, so we have made the biggest change, and then we're gonna put the rams down and the dogs down in another place. But just for lunch, the dogs are gonna stay here. All right, so in less than a couple hours, a farm is gone, and it is now on a trailer. So essentially, if you don't have a barn, if you don't own land, but you can create a portable infrastructure, you can farm. The challenge is finding land and finding landowners who you work well with, and finding situations where the neighbors are not gonna hunt you down because your dogs are barking all night. So these are challenges. These are not roadblocks. These are just freaking challenges. So now we're gonna go see if we can get the boy sheep in the trailer. And boom, here comes Cory. Is ready? You want to just watch that hole right there? Come on, boys.
Peanut stays in.
Okay, you can pull away and I'll close the hole. So the boys are here, and they had their heads down, they were eating. I don't know, they seem to be okay with this grass. They're eating. So that's a good sign. We'll see what it looks like. This is a little boy. There's Big Boy. There's David Lamb Ram, the brown one. And this other one, he's a little bit too woolly for me. So hopefully he will not enter the breeding chain. This guy.
Then you can possibly mention. Why does it work out better? Then you can possibly mention. possibly imagine? Why does it work out better than we can possibly imagine?
Shade, and because you're here, I will come to visit you every single day, and we will spend quality time, and we can even go for little walks.
Don't you feel better? I feel better.
Thank you for being a good dog. Who's a good dog? Yes, you are.